Thank you, Speaker. Sponsor, I don't know why you would bring this legislation forward. You use the excuse of the federal government. We're getting in line with the federal government. I think that's one of the first times since I've been serving here you've been interested about being in line with the federal government. This legislation is harmful. Anyone who has ever been a part of any class action suit, anyone who's ever witnessed corporations or entities misuse and abuse their power and hurt communities knows the thing you need the most is time. You need time because you have researchers. You need time because you have people going to communities doing surveys. You need time in order to find out who are those bad actors, as Representative Jones mentioned, who we need to stop operating in our state because of the ways that they are treating our communities. And so by you reducing the amount of time, you're actually preventing people who have gone to work every day, people who have struggled to make ends meet from their family, from being able to have access to the justice system in the ways that they currently do on behalf of corporations that seek to do them harm, on behalf of corporations that have already stolen from them. The reality is, by shortening this time, you're shortening the time of all of our constituents to actually get potential compensation for hours that they have worked that have been stolen from them. Wage theft is real. Corporations exploiting our constituents is real. And the reality is this body is not always the first at the front lines to fix this issue. It's oftentimes the very communities and people who are oppressed themselves that are seeking the solution. And as they go up against these corporate entities with billions of dollars and things like that in order that they might actually get some of the compensation back that they are fairly due, this legislature, this body seeks to reduce the amount of time that they have. Why? Who do we serve? We are supposed to be serving the people. We're supposed to be serving our constituents, and we're supposed to recognize that many of our constituents very likely could be being abused and misused by corporations. And the greatest check that they have on them is the access to our courts. It's the ability to appeal to the conscience of a judge to fix the problem. But instead of giving them the time to remedy this, to fight for their lives, their families, and their community lives, our resolution is actually to reduce the amount of time that they have to seek this remedy. So I go back to the question my colleague, Representative Jones, mentioned. It's who are we here to serve? Is it the lobbyists and the corporate interests, or is it the people? The people who we have a responsibility and obligation, and by being in the positions we are, an opportunity to serve. This legislation fails to do that. This legislation ignores the realities of many people in our districts who do their best every day and are taken advantage of by corporations. That's not to say all corporations are bad. I know some people here who own businesses who do good by their employees or seek to do good by them. But for those who do not, why, Representative and sponsor, why would we make it easier for corporations who do not treat our communities well, who do not treat our constituents well? Why would we make it easier for them to not be able to face the repercussions of their decision by reducing this amount of time from 6 years to 3 years? And I would ask for a legitimate answer and not any comedy. I'm not at a comedy club. I'm in the Tennessee State Legislature.
Representative Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Currently, the federal standard is 2 years for an unknowing violation and 3 years for a knowing or willful violation. We are expanding it we're placing it at the very maximum of what the federal government allows right now. So we're actually giving them 3 years. 3 years is long enough to file a claim against unpaid wages, and we feel like that's enough. And with that, I renew my motion.
Representative Pearson.
Thank you for that. I think we can do better than that standard. I think we owe it to our constituents to do better than that standard, and the way it has been is the way that it should be.
Representative Zachary.
Thank you,